I think it's all just trusting yourself. Prepare, practice, and then trust yourself. But don't try and reinvent the wheel and back your instincts. Okay, so it's all right, those two, you're just a slight bit of, like early on it. Try and bounce it into the ground next to you. Mate, how's the power? Oh, mate, that is elite. Okay, head went across there a bit, didn't it? Good. Nice. Very good. Very, very good. What happened there? Yep. Yep. I reckon that something happened before that. You just moved too early. So then you got to the ball too early and squared up. You've been moving late, which has been really good till then. Solid. Good. Okay. Ideal world, that's a lovely shot, but just for limiting risk, that could have come a bit straighter with a full face. Yeah. But you played it well in the end. Shot. Oh, that's almost shot of the day. What was good about that one? Yeah, just full face, wide bat, looked really safe and such a... Justin Langer said on the... Have you watched any of the test on Amazon? Yeah. Said the on drive's the hardest shot because your balance has to be right, and that was a beautiful sort of wide mid-on drive. Lovely shot. Oh, and again, boy. Love it. Oh, pure that, Blake. Pure that. How's the pickup feeling? Looks awesome. Shot! How'd that feel? That was awesome. Yeah, it was like you, rather than starting with your hands up and then just jabbing at the ball, you sort of like actually then picked your hands up, engaged this front side and really crunched it. That's elite. Only 2 balls in. Nice, man. Calories. 9 minutes 24. Ouch. Oh. Hey vlog, back from the gym. Not too bad to be honest today, but the 200 calories on the bike absolutely cooked me. Didn't have much left in the tank after that. But I'm glad I did it. Mrs. S didn't train today because she's got a little sore throat, but it's not coronavirus, guys. Don't worry. We're all safe and healthy here for now. But Becca's parents are due back from India tomorrow. They've been on a 2-week holiday. And unfortunately, because they've been overseas, they're going to have to be self-isolated for 14 days. So Mrs. S has just been to the supermarket and getting them some bits and pieces, some supplies, fresh vegetables and fruit, so that they can get through the couple of weeks where they are self-isolated at home, and they've got the all-important toilet paper, which everybody is going mad for at the moment here in Australia and around the world. Stay safe, guys. It's a strange time. It's an uncertain time, but it's really important that as a cricket community and as citizens, we really try and stick together, look out for each other, be empathetic. It's not all about us, but try and help others as well, and also be grateful for the things we do have. not the things we don't have. So remember those two things and the world will be a good place.
Back on the box, setup is exactly the same. So chin, make sure it's tucked into the chest, and when we come back up, weight on the hips, full extension of the hips. So we're driving through that heel, making sure you get.
Hey legends, I'm in here at Apex Performance with our man Garrick Morgan here.
G'day guys.
Who is doing our fitness programs. Our strength and conditioning program is going to be launched next Monday. So when you guys see this, they'll be launched and live and available. Having some lunch, made a salad at home. Pretty basic, spinach leaves, cherry tomatoes, avocado, and red onion and a bit of tuna. So just eating on the run, getting things done today, filming lots and lots of videos, lots of content to give you guys as much value as we can with these strength and conditioning programs. Really excited to be partnered with these guys who are leaders in strength and conditioning here in WA and around Australia and around the world. They both have experience in cricket and are working as players and now working as strength and conditioning coaches with cricketers of all levels and including at the highest level. So pumped to have these guys planning and preparing the strength and conditioning programs that will be available for everyone on our website. And that's very, very common and very much the same for everyone. Most people need, when they're clear and have clarity, they're at their best.
Yeah.
So what do you think it is that causes you to overthink or think about other things?
I think it could be just me putting pressure on myself to do well, maybe.
Okay, so write this down. This is good self-awareness. So give yourself some space because I think we can add to my game.
Yeah.
So write half the way down or whatever, third of the way down. Write things that cause me to overthink.
Yeah.
And I'd say putting pressure on myself. Then we've got to putting pressure on myself, and then we've got to unpack why are you putting pressure on yourself. Is it a desperation to score runs, or is it when you're not hitting the ball as well as you'd like? Or both?
I think it would be like more to the side of like that I want to score runs. Yeah, like I always feel and I always know that if I'm not hitting the ball well in trainings or like in one-on-one sessions, I always feel that I can still go out and I can still play.
Awesome.
But like it might just be because I'm trying too hard and trying to be too good.
Yeah. And there's no coincidence that comes when you've got a few low scores, and that's normal.
Yeah.
And you're still so young, so this is a really good sort of self-acknowledgement and awareness sort of thing for you.
Yeah.
But there's no coincidence that you played well at the start of the season when there's no baggage.
Yeah.
So basically everyone starts the season fresh. Last season 6 months ago, no one's talking about last season's stats.
Yeah.
And when you start the season fresh, bang, you play with freedom and you see the ball, hit the ball, play with complete freedom. You then playing well and sit 3 or 4 weeks later, you get a low score, whether it's a bad shot, a bad decision, bad wicket, whatever the reason.
Yeah.
Then the next week you come a little bit more desperate to do well, and maybe you make a bad short decision or you play a bad shot. 2 weeks in a row you've got no runs, and then week 3 you're desperate to score runs and you're then going away from your game.
Yeah.
So I think what we've got to try and get to, and the sooner we can get to it, the more success, the more runs you're going to have, the more success you're going to have.
Yeah.
Is really being clear on what your game is.
Yep.
And okay, what does your best cricket look like? What does your best thing look like? Once we know that, that's what you aim to play every time you bat, regardless of what you'd done last week or the week before. Because so many players play on the roll, they live on the roller coaster. And I've spoken to you about this before. They score runs, they think they're great, they go out and bat with confidence the next week. They don't score runs, they think that they're no good, and they go out so desperate to score runs and prove themselves. So we've got to try and get you to a point where you're like, this is how I play. Doesn't matter if I've got 3 ducks in a row. Doesn't matter that I've got 100 last week. I'm just going out, see ball, hit ball. I've done my work this week, put in the work, I've followed my process, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we've got to get really clear on what it looks like when you're at your best.
Yeah.
Let's write some stuff down. What do you think you do when you're at your best? So my game, and then maybe write in that heading, write / when I'm at my best. And it comes down to your habits.
Yeah.
Like it comes down to your choices and then your habits. You need to create good habits. You need to really create a process and a lifestyle that allows you to, like if you're not giving yourself time at 5 o'clock in the evening or 6 o'clock in the evening, 7 o'clock in the evening, because you're socializing or you're doing something, then you're going to rush your AMS stuff, and you're going to you've got to create habits that allow you to do what you have to do as an athlete and as a human, and then you can sort of do it whatever else you need to do.
Get like a good routine.
Yeah. Because AMS is taxing, and sometimes you're like, oh, do I have to do this? That I can't be bothered. But like, if that's something that's important to the system, you have to do it. Yeah. And fitness is a choice. So fitness is like, you can be as fit as you really want to be. You just have to, rather than having a day off, 2 days off, 3 days off, and sitting on the couch doing nothing, you go for a run, you go to the gym, you do a little home workout, you just decide, I really want to be fit. So that there's no excuses, like physically, there's no excuses for coaching staff. I'm one of the fittest, if not the fittest in the squad, and they'll know that I want it then. There's so many things that come with being fit. You don't just become a better player, but you become, mentally you can focus for longer, you become more desirable to the coaching staff, and they think this boy wants it. And a lot of coaches will pick players who they think want it. Whereas if someone's lazy, they're like, I don't know, he doesn't want it. He might be a really good player, but he doesn't want it. If he did, he'd be, exactly. So that's something that I think you can control, and there's so many things in cricket you can't control. And the fitter you work and the harder you work, the luckier you get. Like, things just go your way. Like, not always in the short term, but in the long term, things just go your way. 100%. So just make sure that's always, for the rest of your career, a priority. And there's so many stories of Hussey and Langer and Steve Smith and Coley and all these great players who were pretty fit, and then they made a lifestyle change and they said, no, I want to be the fittest I can possibly be, and they then became the best cricketers in the world. Michael Clarke took his fitness to a new level, became the #1 batter in the world. Steve Smith did the same. Coley's done the same. Like, there's no coincidence in that your effort and what you're putting into your fitness. And like just your diet as well, everything about being the best physical being you can be has a big influence on you being the best cricketer you can be. Yeah, and that's just through experimenting and experience. Find the right process at grade cricket. Yeah, 100%, because you don't have the resources you have in the professional setup, whether it's 19s or second 11 or shield cricket. You don't have those resources. You don't have the coaches. You don't have the equipment. So something that I think is really big for you this season is to break your training into technical, but also practice the mindset of batting. So like, let's say we do a session, we say, okay, we're going to do an hour, and this is going to be focused on mental and being, what I would suggest is like, I fling you a ball, and even though I've only got to walk back 3 meters to get the other ball, and I could throw your ball 7 seconds later, I wait 15 seconds and you wait. And you just relax, and so because we don't train how we play. Like, started reading this book called Mindful Cricket. It seems really good. I sort of have started talking to the author as well, and it makes a really profound, obvious statement that's underrated in cricket at the start. He says that cricket's one of the only sports where our training environment is completely different to our playing environment. In a game, we play out in the middle with no nets, and we have a long period of time in between balls. In training, we have these nets, and exactly. We never transit play. So it's fine to work on back foot spin and spin in terms of game plans and technique. Awesome, you need to do that, but you also need to practice the mindset of batting. How to switch on, how to switch off, how to relax in between balls. So I think it's important you have sessions, whether that's at the WACA or we do some with me, where you're practicing that. You're practicing that game mindset.
Do better for yourself.
Must feel good that I'm now gone. I wish I could say everyone was wrong.
Shot.
Steve. Lionel. Get it, boy.
Do better for yourself.
Hey vlog, it is Sunday morning, the day after hanging out with one of the greatest batters of all time, Steve Smith. Had an awesome afternoon with Steve and a few other mates. So the connection there is one of my best mates is a guy called Rootsy, and he is Steve Smith's best mate. So through Rootsy and also through Sam Robson, who's a former Middlesex teammate of mine, a really close mate of mine, they all grew up playing cricket with Steve in Sydney together. So through them, I've met Steve a number of times. He's a friend. So I'm really lucky from a cricket sense to be able to call one of the greatest players of all time a friend, but he's just a normal bloke. Lovely guy, and we just spent the afternoon hanging out like he's just a normal human being, just hanging out, having some fun. He's obviously lives in Sydney, but there's no cricket on at the moment, so he came to Perth for a couple of days just to see Rootsy, just to hang out and do something a bit different to what he normally would before isolation and lockdown goes into sort of full capacity, I suppose. So it was good fun, a lot of laughs, just playing soccer, volleyball. Lots and lots of fun. Rootsy and I on one team, and then me and Steve on a team in the next game. And then we got through the evening, we had some dinner and we chatted a lot about cricket, learnt a lot, but just mostly just hanging out as mates. I didn't want to nuff him out too much, but it is cool hanging out with one of the greatest batters of all time. So I hope you enjoyed that little bit of raw footage and sort of footage of Steve Smith that you probably wouldn't normally see. Cheers, legends.